It's that time. And let me tell you something. Ellen DeGeneres has this amazing stand-up where she talks about how her friend go to this restaurant and um, she's talking about procrastination and she's like, I was supposed to go downstairs and write and then this happened and that happened and that happened. Of course, it's like all this absurd things that you just get distracted by because you're trying to avoid the real thing that you need to do. And so it's like the cat with the belly rolls, you pet him for like 20 minutes and then you feel like you need to organize your CDs, which when we used CDs, if you're old enough, okay. Then she's like, then I did this. Then I went to lunch with my friend. So then they're at lunch and she tells a story about the waitress who's like, oh my gosh, I struggle with procrastination too. And then Ellen's like, oh, really? Get my sandwich. Like she's literally just joining in on the conversation, procrastinating about the sandwich. Anywho, today we are going to be talking about procrastination.
Good morning, everybody. So, for anybody who is joining us live, would love to know from you. Drop a P in the chat if, like Ellen or that waitress, you too have either struggled with procrastination or currently are struggling with procrastination.
Let's be real. We all have something that we have procrastinated on that is literally in front of our nose right now at this very moment. What is it for you? There has to be something.
What procrastination?
What is there something that you've been needing to do that you haven't done?
Well, whatever I did this morning. Remember yesterday when I called you in?
Okay. She completed it. Okay. What am I procrastinating on? There's some mail here I haven't opened yet.
Oh, yeah. That. I'll tell you what we're procrastinating on. If anybody in here is a cop.
What are you? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what
we're so good. Okay, but first I want to know from you before we tell this story. What are you procrastinating on? Like what is sitting in front of you that you need to do? Or maybe it's just today. Maybe it's just your workout. You haven't even done your workout yet. You're like, oh, it's 11.
3.3 miles. We're gonna get to accountability in just a little bit.
Okay, but what is it for you? I want to see it in the comments. What's the thing that you need to making appointments? Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. You just totally texted the hair person today because it's been forever,
dude.
Major clutter.
Well, a big part of the hair thing was
making appointments, work,
a good local hairdresser.
Resumes. All right, Naomi, time to go. Today
let's go.
Today we're going to increase your confidence by getting into action.
Yes, we are.
Home improvements. Yes. Okay. Emails. Oh, yes. Cleaning the yard, making appointments, dentist. We need to find a new one of those too.
Truth.
Packing for my work trip. Who else packs like random?
Oh, Boogie, do you want to tell them what you procrastinate
Cleaning out my
on?
garage.
Can they see him real quick?
Oops.
Can they see him? Hello, everybody. I am really desperate to come on the show today.
I'm really needy today.
Come on, let's go. It's been the third time he's been
crazy guy. Okay. So the thing that we're procrastinating on big time. Okay. Yeah. If you're a cop, especially in Florida, we're trusting you with our vulnerability right now. Okay?
Actually, help us out.
Help us, please.
Because there's a couple of things that we're waiting for, and that's a part of it too.
It's a part of it. And the reason that we've procrastinated on it is because it seems like there's 1,000 hoops to jump through. And every time we try to jump through the hoops, you're waiting on hold with somebody for an hour, or there gets things lost in translation. Anywho, the tags on our card, for one, we moved to Florida 2.5 years ago and they're still California. So that tells you anything. And then
we just love California tags better. I actually do.
And then the tags expired in November of 2021. Oh, it's not funny, but here's the deal, because we have a lease on the car. We have to like call, we have to do the DMV and then US Bank. They have to send something to us. Then we have to send it to US Bank. The US Bank has to fax it to them. And then we have to come in and then we have to do the thing. And we started to do it in Hollywood when we lived there. But then we ran out of time before we moved. So now we have to go to a new DMV and call all the people again and have them send all the papers and then fill it out and fax it. And it's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It kind of feels like when Amy Couch was telling us about like her situation with the
yeah, completely.
Man, it's
completely.
like so many hoops.
Yeah.
I just like was tempted to just pay the rest of the car in full so we could just have the title and not have to go through that BS.
Yeah, who knew that? Like, what is it? We're leasing a car, right? Yeah.
No, not leasing. We it's financed. It's financed.
Just all the hoops.
Gosh.
You guys, anybody else is feeling like Boogie today? Rub my back, hold my hand, and tell me you love me.
Me.
Do you see that?
Me, in fact.
Okay, so let's get into today. Before we get to today's content, real quick, let's begin with a little bit of accountability. So remember, you guys, over the next 8 days, between now and the 15th, we're going to complete a marathon. Isn't that amazing? So yesterday, your challenges were to watch the content. And of course, if you were live with us, you did it. If you were not live with us, just so you know, you got an email. As long as you had signed up for this, that's the only way we can communicate with you beyond this, just so you know. So maybe we can just drop a chat in the chat, like for anybody who did not like actually register for this. That's why you do want to register for this, so that you can get the daily recap email. And then
what am I sending? I'm reading all your comments.
The link to join this challenge officially. And then the other thing that you got to do is to abstain from your kryptonite. Yay! Okay, so I want to know.
I feel like there should have been cheers with that.
So I want to know from you, on a scale of 1 to 3, where are you currently at in the game? Go ahead and drop it.
Where are they going to sign up for this officially? What are we on? The 8-day confidence.
Yeah.
I can find it. I'll find it. You guys,
go ahead and drop it in the chat.
There's so many links in so many different places.
Oh, oopsie! I took your mouse.
No, I did it. Okay. I took it over there.
2, 3, 3. Okay, great.
Wow.
2.5. What does that even mean? 2.5. So remember, you guys, it's not about where you're at. It's about where you're going that matters. Okay, so congratulations. Is anybody in here jumping in today for the very first time? If you are, just go ahead and drop a me so we can see you and we can acknowledge you and we can celebrate you. You can jump in during any day of this challenge. And of course, for those of you guys who are starting first, you know, you're just getting an extra booster, because you're going to get through all 8 phases of how we're going to level up your confidence. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So the official link to join so that you can get all the communication is right here. So if you're joining us live on these calls, that's amazing. But if you want to get all of the official communication, I just dropped the link. I'll put it here, even though it's, you know, how to type it in, it's confusing. Just click on it. It's good. Or copy and paste it.
Nicole and Rebecca Kenya, first time.
Hey.
Welcome. Great to see you guys. Yeah. So, you know, procrastination is a big deal. And, you know, while there's certain things that we procrastinate on, which are low priority, a lot of times, you know, what we really are talking about today is, you know, lowering your level of procrastination with regards to things that actually really matter right now. And as you guys can see, like Erin and I are real people just like you. We too can do a better job. However, I'll tell you, you know, with regards to procrastinating on certain things right now, if and when we do, most of the time, it's because the thing is a low priority. I wish that somebody could just take care of my registration plates.
Would anybody like to do that? Any volunteers? Any volunteers?
You know, like I would much rather add value to you and speak to you all day than stand in the DMV line for like an entire day. But I can almost reassure myself that all of us feel the same way about the DMV. If there was like a line, like a VIP line for the DMV, like
how much would you pay for it?
They should totally make it.
How much would you pay for VIP access to DMV? All your appointments are less than 20 minutes.
So I want to enlighten you guys just with how real procrastination is in society. Yesterday was International Women's Day. Who runs the world?
Girls.
Hope you felt celebrated yesterday. And you know, we talked about the reason why it is so important to continuously work on building your confidence is because there are a lot of things that are happening to women on a higher level that, you know, can definitely be improved. And I believe that the only way to improve that is to gain more confidence. For example, you know, sexual assault in the workplace, or not treating, you know, women in the workplace equally as men in terms of skill for skill and value for value, just because they're a different gender. So, you know, our confidence touches everything. You know, it touches how you show up at work. It touches what you're able to create for yourself. If you're anything like, you know, what got Aaron and I to like this path of wanting to help others is knowing that our confidence with our bodies was compromised for such a long period of time. And, you know, one of the things that we say a lot of times is that, you know, even when you get yourself to a good place, it's not like, you know, you being hard on yourself is like something that just goes away. You know, it's like, how do you handle it, especially during like tougher seasons in your life? And how do you continuously elevate it? Because it's just like any muscle, you use it or lose it. You know, you can get yourself to a point where your confidence is through the roof. And then what happens during a difficult day when your confidence is compromised to some degree? You know, if you do not practice building your confidence on a daily basis, it is really simple, actually. And drop a yes if, you know, this is true for you too, that, you know, during those like harder days, or, you know, maybe difficult things where you get to show up messy, or, you know, things are just not going as well as you had hoped for. It's really easy to get inside our own head and let those thoughts take a grip on us, when the reality is that what if you could just appreciate your imperfections and always work on continuing to cultivate your confidence? I believe that that's what this is all about, and that's what inspired us to put this. So today we're going to be talking about procrastination, and I want to share with you a couple of things. Okay. Did you guys know that 25% of people consider themselves to be chronic procrastinators? Chronic procrastinators.
A quarter of the world?
So 1 out of 4 people. It's like, imagine you get a task to do.
Okay, there's 62 people here. 62 divided by 4. 62.
That's like 15.
62.
15. It's 15.
Oh, duh, because 15 and 4 is 62.
So
15 of you.
So it's like, imagine like what chronic procrastination. It's not like here or there. It's like, this is how you operate through your life. Okay. Which means so much untapped potential, you guys. That's crazy. Right? Okay. Thank you so much for your vulnerability, for keeping it real. Also, did you guys know that 50% of college students admit to procrastinating regularly? I'm going to share with you my story of procrastination and how I've overcome that. I was that. to AT. Okay. Procrastinating regularly through college.
The difference. Chronic meaning that is literally your operating system.
Mm-hmm.
You're always procrastinating on everything. So that's not like, oh, every person procrastinates to some degree, right? You put something off. To procrastinate means to put something off until a later date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A later time, whatever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. There is actually a book that's called Procrastinate on Purpose by Rory Vaden. We actually are going to set up a chat with his wife, which is super cool. And so hopefully we can get you guys maybe some contact. That would be awesome. Future guest speakers. But anywho, I'm going to post a link to this book because procrastination in itself is not necessarily bad. It's the intention of your procrastination and whether or not that thing is of high significance and you still choose to procrastinate on it, or if you're very clear on what your priorities are and you're procrastinating on something on purpose because it is not at the top of the priority list. So you intentionally say, nope, you're going down here, right? So it's not bad, but to be chronically procrastinating means it's constant. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So good. By the way, I want you guys to know that I'm reading your comments. I'm so excited that you joined this because sometimes our procrastination is intertwined with other things that we're going to be sharing with you on other days in the challenge. So good. I'm so excited that you're here with us. Also, 20% of people procrastinate so much that it has a negative impact on their lives. So almost out of all, like if 25% of people consider themselves to be chronic procrastinators, most of those people literally are facing negative implications on their lives because of their procrastination. I believe that compromised health is a byproduct of procrastination. I believe that compromised anything is a byproduct of procrastination, and that's why we're talking about it on day 2. 70% of people who procrastinate at least occasionally.
Is that book out here or is it in a box still?
I think it's in the box. Poop. So that's like most of us. Like it's like if you have a choice to, like maybe not. And the 95% of procrastinators believe that procrastination is a problem. So for those of you guys who dropped AP in the chat earlier, go ahead and, if you believe that your procrastination is holding you back from, your next level, then go ahead and drop a yes in the chat so we can see you real quick. Because this is ultimately what today's challenge is all about. It's about what is that next level for you and taking those daily steps in order to limit that out of the picture in order to make sure that you're working towards that thing. Okay. Yes. We see you guys.
I want to mention really briefly the importance of taking immediate action on things and how it relates to your level of self-confidence, because this is a confidence climb challenge. Thank you, sir. It's so good. When we put things off, Sarit says all the time, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're putting one thing off, what else are you putting off? And oftentimes because the principles of a fit, healthy body are the same principles of a fit, healthy bank account or a fit, healthy relationship or a fit, healthy career, then usually when one's struggling, all of them are struggling, even if it appears that you are successful in one area. Because success doesn't measure success by definition, each person gets to choose. But being successful via performance indicators of whatever thing does not necessarily mean that you are doing well. Because somebody can have a lot of money, for example. Somebody can have a lot of money. Somebody would deem them to be financially successful, but they hate their lives. I would not consider that success. So when we put things off in
somebody
one
can
area,
have a six-pack and they can be like under like severe depression.
true.
That's not healthy either.
True. So my point in saying this is that when you learn to take action immediately, your level of self-confidence increases because you are so used to getting things done immediately that you're no longer paralyzed by, do I know everything about this thing? What's going to happen on the other side? What are all the details? Fear no longer really has a stronghold on you because you're just used to taking action, take action, take action. I think it was Ray Dalio said something about like, or Napoleon Hill, or I think multiple people have said it, but is it a great leader or is it a successful person? Whatever it is, makes decisions quickly when they have all the information.
Napoleon Hill.
Not 100% of the information, but all of the necessary information to not make a stupid decision. Okay. So now a stupid decision is different than a decision you make where you fail and learn. A stupid decision is, I don't know anything about anything, or if this is even something that I want to do or care to do, and I'm going to do it. Or a stupid decision is like jumping off a cliff before you know what's underneath, or before you've watched somebody else do it and know that it's safe. Like just going head first is stupid. You don't have the information that is necessary for you to successfully, if you're going to fail successfully.
Mm-hmm.
If you dive head first off of a cliff and there's rocks down there, you fail, but you fail very unsuccessfully because the chances of you coming out of that failure to learn something from it are low, right? So when you are able to take action and not procrastinate on something, you are more confident in your ability to take action before you feel 100% ready to take action on something. You just do it. Like how good, I want to ask you guys, how good does it feel when you actually do something immediately that you would normally put off? I have this piece of mail here. What is this right here? I think it's like insurance or something. I'm just going to open it because if I open it, it's no longer sitting in front of me. So dear member, we will keep you updated on your health care deductible. It doesn't look very important. It's in multiple different languages. So I think it's pretty general. It doesn't look like I owe anything. This is how I do mail, guys, just so you know.
Same.
Okay, cool. If something's very important, somebody will find a better way to contact me. Now I can recycle that.
Hey.
Done. Feels so good. Okay.
Yeah.
So procrastination, significant procrastination lowers your self-confidence. Taking action on a more regular basis as a habit that you can build, a muscle that you can build, increases your self-confidence. Okay, cool.
So what we've learned so far from everything that we discussed today, by the way, it's great to see you guys here. We see you, is, we all procrastinate to some degree. Okay. Now, the question that we all need to ask ourselves, if we were to make it measurable, okay, is on a scale of 1 to 10, how is procrastination holding you back from your potential? 10 being, it is debilitating me because I stall on everything, versus 1, I'm a perfect human being. I believe that if you're a human being, you are not at a 1. I hope that what you realize, so get clear on that, and then ask yourself, like, ultimately, based on how I see myself, like for whatever my next cut is, where should I be? Where should I be? Okay, that is awareness. Awareness is step 1 with regards to creating change. You want to confront where you are, and you want to confront the gap and where it is that you want to go. So, for anybody who feels like procrastination is, something that is either debilitating or that's holding you back from your next cut, I want you to know that you're not alone. As a matter of fact, this is something that both Aaron and myself used to struggle with for a really long time. As a matter of fact, for anybody who was on one of our coaching calls on Tuesday, I was, a question got raised, and, it was about procrastination. And, I mentioned that I was a pro procrastinator.
Pro, capital Pro.
Yeah, like
procrastinator.
if there was a competition for how well you could procrastinate, like that was me. In the sense that the only time I would be driven to take action on something. Wow, Boogie, you want to say something too? Boogie says he relates, you guys. He says that he tends to procrastinate unless it's lizard eating or snuggling. Yep. However, he's happy with where he's at. So we love you, Boogie. That's perfectly okay. So, for me, the only time I would be driven into action is when the deadline was so short. And you know what was interesting? I was always late. My performance was severely compromised.
Legit.
Um,
Same. My papers and stuff that I submitted were probably really shitty. I did them always like 48 hours before they were due.
Yeah. And you know what if I can talk about it, because not always was I a procrastinator. There were certain things that I procrastinated really well on. Like, do you guys have things that you're like, I'm actually pretty good at some things, but then like when it comes to certain things, like I'm really good at procrastinating at?
Okay, honest moment. Who in the last week has procrastinated on any of their workouts? In the last 7 days since today's Thursday.
Today is
Thursday.
I actually haven't.
Well, no, because we've been going to, I had to do a workout in the hotel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I haven't. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's real. So, what I realized is that when it came to certain things, my level of procrastination was a lot greater than other things. Like, I'll give you an example. So you guys, I failed organic chemistry in college. For anybody who loves organic chemistry, God bless your soul. And also congratulations for being so smart. Organic chemistry is definitely not my middle name. As a matter of fact, I had to retake that class in the summer. And one of the reasons why I believe that I procrastinated about it is because, number one, I didn't understand it. And number two, it wasn't interesting to me. Yeah, so I didn't even want to go out of my way to understand it. So here's what I believe, you guys, just from my own experience. I believe that we have a higher tendency to procrastinate on things that we're not passionate about, that we do not see a high importance on. The only time organic chemistry was important is because I had a freaking final that, I couldn't get away with not doing. I'm like, you're going to have to, be in the room, write some answers. Here's Portuguese in front of you, figure it out. So I'm like, oh, well, like maybe in the last 4 hours that I've got, I'll do something about it. And what did I do in the process? Because I didn't like it so much, I actually self-sabotaged in order to get myself to do that thing. So I'll be very transparent. When it came to finals in organic chemistry, I would always binge eat as a form of preparation. To prepare my mind, I had to binge eat and be on a sugar high. And also, I'll tell you what else I did. Do you guys know those 24-ounce cans of sugar-free Red Bull?
Oh, yes.
So like I would eat
64 ounces? Wait, no.
24 ounces.
Oh, yeah.
Like
it has the screw off top.
No, that's a Monster.
Oh, I had those. Rockstar had them too. The blue can.
I don't believe
the blue can. Who had the blue can?
So anyways, so back in the day, Red Bull all the way, because I believe it smells better and it tastes better. By the way, it's not good for you. We recommend you don't drink it. But we've all done that shit to ourselves.
Yeah.
Not only that, you guys, not only that, to just get myself to focus on the dang thing. Had a roommate in my junior year in college who dabbled with a lot of things. So, to prepare myself, because
What do you mean dabbled with a lot of things?
with a lot of like drugs, like she actually did a lot of drugs. Like that's how she operated her way through life. She would give me Adderall for organic chemistry because, like, rumor had it is that it really helps you focus. Well, it locks your brain in, so I couldn't get away with not trying to study, even if, like I didn't want to. So first, my routine was, you're going to procrastinate while you're scrolling through Facebook for 2 hours, and you're going to eat literally like 5 Ziploc bags of M&M's chocolate chips, coconut shreds. This is real life, you guys. And once you're done with all of that and your body hates you and there's no more Ziploc bags, then you are going to go to Quick Check, was actually the name of the place. Like some of you guys have Wawa, some of you guys have 7-Eleven. If you lived in Jersey, you know what Quick Check is. If you know what it is, go ahead and drop a Q in the chat. So I'd go to Quick Check, where they will have those like 24 ounces of Red Bull. I'd get a ride with someone and we'll go down the street to get it. And then we'll come back. And then I'll be like, okay,
I'm ready.
Yeah. So then like I'll, take the thing, take a half a dosage of the thing, and then I'll drink the Red Bull, and then I'll be up all night. No, it's awful.
I'll be honest, I've never taken Adderall. I'll be honest, I've never really done anything except for
Good for you.
Drink alcohol and smoke weed.
Good for you. So at that point, it was 12:30. So I'm like, okay,
clean.
You've got until 8 a.m. to get your shit together.
Till 8 a.m. What time would you start?
The exam would be at like 8 a.m.
Yeah, but what time would you start studying? You got until 8 a.m. When would you be starting?
Oh, like 12:30.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
like 7.5 hours.
Of course, my brain was operating at a high level after an entire day of uncertainty, where half of the day I spent how I was gonna procrastinate my way through the goddamn thing, and then I put way too much sugar in my body. So my body obviously just wanted to crash. Meanwhile, I stimulated my mind with artificial shit that would make it like lock on. By the time I'll get to the exam, you guys, I was just so fucking exhausted. And I just do my best, which was obviously not great. Imagine Tom Brady. Some of you guys, like imagine him doing that as a way to prepare for his final. Or for
Super Bowl,
for a game, dude. There's no way.
Yeah, doesn't it?
There's no way. It's like complete amateur hour, right? So I share this with you because I want you to know that this is where I come from. And when you say procrastinator, I mean it. I would literally make myself uncomfortable, make myself sick, self-sabotage on myself in order to get myself to do the goddamn thing. And if I can, so can you.
Mine was Taco Bell at midnight, because if I'm eating, then I can stay awake. Duh, because I'm not going to fall asleep eating.
Shit that we would do.
Also, I just wanted it. Okay, grilled stuff, chicken, grilled stuff, burrito with that rice inside, with the what's the thing that was wrapped? It was on a hard tortilla flat, like a tostada, but then it had Crunch Wrap Supreme. Oh yeah, then it had the soft wrap around it. If I'm eating, I can't fall asleep. So just munch, type, munch.
And of course, when you're eating while you're doing work, your brain is thinking about food. It ain't thinking about work. Because I remember, I'll share with you guys another story. That was another way when I procrastinated. It wasn't as bad as college. When I was in high school, it was like my third year, reading textbooks in English when I could barely speak English. Everything that was in biology class, I wouldn't understand them. So what did I do to prepare for a test? I would literally memorize shit. I would memorize sentences. I would memorize paragraphs because I didn't know what the heck it meant. So as I was literally like, I would have notebooks of me writing the same thing like 6 times, So what I would do is I would eat candy while doing it. And if you were to literally open up my desk, you would see like
Candy
wrappers everywhere. Like to get myself to memorize the thing, I would procrastinate. Now, I want to know from you, because this is just my theory. Did you enjoy what you did, or did you like your beingness when you were procrastinating to that degree? She's not even listening to me.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I was trying to read this. Amelia's like, I tell myself going to what burger at 2 a.m. is fine since it's grilled chicken. No, I mean, sorry, I was focused on that. And I was also focused on like, how do we make things feel less overwhelming? Because we want to get to like you guys love to listen to our stories. We've asked you before. It's amazing, but also want to give you,
yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
How do we overcome this? How do we get past this, through this, around this, over this, under this, whatever? And I'll be honest, I write my own things and then Sarit writes her own things. So you get a kind of a little jumble mix of both, but I'll let you take it.
Yeah. So, the next question is how do we overcome procrastination? It is a real thing. And, we all procrastinate to some degree. Now, in order for you to gain more confidence, it is essential that you continuously improve your relationship with procrastination, because it holds you back. And when you procrastinate, you self-sabotage, and it's like the cycle that repeats itself, right? By the way, don't you guys love, we have a very special guest for you. We told you guys we're going to have a lot of cool surprises in this climb. This is your very first one.
Especially next week, yeah?
Yes, next week we have
this is 8 days. We're only on day 2.
Yeah. So here is how we overcome procrastination. There's 7 steps to it, you guys.
Oh, you have 7 steps, but if I have different ones, then you're going to get bonus steps.
Oh, all the steps. Now, when you get the steps, don't procrastinate on climbing the steps. Just kidding.
Oh, that was good.
So a lot of times when we're feeling extremely overwhelmed, it is simple or easy, or it makes sense to procrastinate. Like, hence why the thing with the Florida tags that are non-existent in our car. It's like we're jumping through so many hoops. There's so many people that are like not connected to one another, and they're waiting for one another to communicate. So it's just like, oh, okay, like whatever, right? So how can you, I want to say, dumb it down to the simplest thing that you can do so that you can focus on that? Okay, so it's like, okay, who is the one person that you need to call? What is the next thing that you need to do? Or if out of the entire series of 100 action steps that you have to take, what is the one thing that you need to do right now? This is why also in this 8-day event, like every single day, we're giving you like a quick, physical thing. Because if you've been procrastinating on your health, I'll tell you from my own journey, the more my weight went up, the more I procrastinated on wanting to do something about it, because it seemed like the mountain was so big. It's like, oh, and this is why I believe that, we need to the ES army, we need to crush it, because society is becoming more overweight and more obese. And the more overweight people become, the less they want to do something about it, because they feel like it is just so like such a big thing. And they're like, well, if it's going to take me like 4 or 5 years, then why do it in the first place?
Yeah.
Right. Like, think about it. Sometimes people die because they procrastinate. It's really sad. So what is the first thing that we want to do? Like, what, maybe it's okay. Just go for a 3-mile walk. Just do that. Like, don't even do anything else.
Can we roll through these? Like,
Yeah. The second thing that you want to do is you want to reaffirm yourself with something positive. Okay. So for example, after today's challenge, which we're going to reveal to you in just a little bit, what is going to be like one thing that you can do to celebrate yourself? And this is why I'm a firm believer in community, because when you have other people who can celebrate you, the celebration becomes so much greater. And when we think of,
come on, dun. Okay.
Yeah. And when something seems so daunting, it's like we don't want to do it. That's why, like, for me, like, studying for the organic chemistry test was so daunting. I'm like, let me celebrate my way to preparing myself. So, of course, I was doing it unintentionally, and therefore the celebration was not in alignment. And every time there was an organic chemistry test, I would gain 5 pounds because I would try to give my brain the good chemicals, right, through sugar, which worked, but it only worked artificially. So it didn't actually help the thing. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to get rid of distractions. So whatever it is that you know that you need to do, align your environment so that you can get it done. This is also why when, let's say, when your house is cluttered, your likelihood of procrastination is a lot greater, because it is an environment that invites procrastination. The more piles you have on your desk, the less likely you are to do anything, because it's like you don't even know which piece of paper is for what. So the next time you get something, you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna stack it on. Right? It's like it becomes your new comfort zone. Okay. Then what you want to do is you want to take a breather. So like you want to like look at it in terms of intervals. It's like, okay, I'm going to champion this thing. I'm going to take a breather, and then I'm going to champion the next thing, and I'm going to take a breather. By the way, tomorrow we're going to talk more about that. Obviously, getting help. This is why we're doing this challenge, to provide you the help that you need, so you don't have to do this alone. Okay. And lastly, track your progress, accountability, right? Like, this is why in this 8-day event, you're going to get daily accountability so that you can track, okay, like, did I do the thing? What does that look like in the first place? So thank you for mentioning all of that. Do you want to get to today's challenge?
Writing all of this for you guys, just in case you're wondering what the heck, and you can hear all the peppy fingers. The other things that I wrote, I also wrote break it into smaller chunks, set a timer. So do you have that in here? I think it's good. The Parkinson's law says the amount of time you give yourself to do something is the amount of time it will take you to do it, which is why you can write a 30-page paper in 48 hours, because you're like, this is the time I have. I'm going to jam. And so you get like uber focused. So if you set a timer, even if you just take like your phone and you say, okay, yesterday I did this. If you just take your phone and you're like, okay, I have like the timer feature, I'm going to, or not the stopwatch, but like the timer. And you're like, okay, I've got 20 minutes, and you just set it for 20 minutes. You're like, I got 20 minutes to do this task. Boom, you start it. You now get like really focused on finishing that thing in 20 minutes. So that's another little hack. Make it fun. Like, if you can gamify it in some way, if you can make it interesting in some way, play some music while you're doing something is a way for people to make things more fun. Just whatever way you can you can make it more interesting for yourself. You're more likely to do it. Get accountability. You kind of said the same thing. Get a coach or a mentor. Like if you struggle with something all the time, like have somebody, like sometimes when you pay somebody something, you have skin in the game. You have something to lose. You have more motivation or reason to show up for. I'm taking a couple of different courses right now. And I'm like, some of you noticed I wasn't like on the aligned call. We have this other program aligned call. Sarit did it solo the other day because I was like, shit, I need to be on this call. And I didn't know it was going to be at that time. So, it's like when you pay something, you're like, hey, my priority for that thing now, level of importance, would also determine like the willingness to use resources, right? So that's another thing. Yeah, those were the additional things. So we can get to today's challenge. But
yeah, I love it. So my question for you guys is, earlier we talked about like what is your next cut? When you're working on building your confidence, like what do you want your confidence to give you? That is your next cut. So take a second to just get clear on what is my next cut. And then what is the one thing that you have been procrastinating on in order for you to get yourself closer to that next cut? What is the one thing that you have been procrastinating on? It could be one task. It could be multiple tasks.
I'm going to drop all of these steps also for you guys in the chat, in the comments.
Now, when it comes to multiple tasks, if you have one task, then okay, great. You already know what it is. But what if you have multiple tasks? It's like, okay, I got to do this. 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 Okay. In order for you to do today's challenge, I want to real quick coach you on like, what should you choose? So tasks that need to get accomplished are either urgent, like I have a deadline in 2 hours. Okay. A lot of times that's a no-brainer. That's how procrastinators operate. They're either lackadaisy, procrastinating for a long time, and then the thing becomes urgent. So boom, they got it done. Okay. So I'm sharing this with you just to give you layer one. The other two layers are important and significant. So out of the things that you've been procrastinating on, right next to it, go ahead and write, is it urgent? Is it important? Or is it significant? Is it urgent? Is it important? Or is it significant? This is why a lot of people whose health are compromised don't actually do anything about it until it's urgent. Because we have a greater likelihood to lead with urgency when the problem is this close to us. Otherwise, we pretend as if it does not exist. This is why, a lot of, let's say, I've lived as a woman, so I can't speak for men. I can imagine men experience it too. But especially for women, before vacations or before summer, like they want to do like a thing. Because, oh shit, I got to get in a bathing suit in 2 or 3 weeks, right? Like it's suddenly like tying up becomes urgent. Okay. So when you get clear on that thing, if it's one thing, go ahead and circle that. If it's multiple things, right next to each and every one of them, you want to write urgent, important, or significant. Okay. So today, what you're going to do is you're going to complete a task that you've been procrastinating on. Now, if you've had one task that you've been procrastinating on and it's urgent, then that's the thing that you're going to do. Okay. Now, let's say if you happen to be the person who tends to procrastinate on a lot of things. This is where you get to get clear on what is urgent, what is important, and what is significant. Lead with urgency first, because you're just going to need to get it done. Okay. And in the case that you have nothing urgent, then you want to approach significant first, important second. So get clear on the one task that you've been procrastinating on, and use the tools that we've given you, like, breaking it into smaller chunks, giving yourself a deadline. I mean, we're giving you a deadline. This is why we're doing this in a group coaching format, so that you can have the support, so that you can have the deadline, so that you can have the reward, so that you can make it measurable, right? And so you don't have to go through it alone. So I want to know from you guys in the chat, like, what is that thing for you? Like, what is that task that you have been procrastinating on that you get to complete today? Just go ahead and drop it down in the chat. And while you're doing that, we're also going to be, so that is your main task for today. Other than that, what you're going to do is you're going to get your 3.3 miles complete. Like we said yesterday, you can either run it, you can walk it, you can crawl it, whatever it may be. Just complete the 3.3 miles, because, baby, we're completing a marathon in those 8 days. Doesn't matter how you do it. What matters is that you get it done. And then for watching this video, you get 1 point as well. So yeah, okay. Taxes. Get the emissions on my vehicles checked. I remember when we had to do that.
Minutes for yesterday's meeting. Stop taking down Christmas stuff. I totally understand. I could have Christmas all year, by the way.
Okay, so you guys, this is so good.
More taxes.
Taxes. Man, if there is an accountant in the house and you want to help, I mean, you have an amazing opportunity right here.
Also, if there's anybody who wants to adopt some puppies in Oklahoma, contact Amelia.
That's freaking cool.
Call to make a few appointments, finish a PowerPoint. Oh, we got some laundry up in here. Expense reports. Christmas tree's been up for 3 years. Okay, so we've had a 3-year-long Christmas. It's no big deal. No big deal.
Do you remember on one of the interviews that we've done with
They still had a Christmas tree.
Whitney.
Oh, Whitney Jones.
But she just does it on purpose because she loves Christmas. So she has an office with a Christmas tree like all year long.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, like if you know that taking your Christmas tree down is something that you've intended to do, I mean, Easter and Passover are right around the corner. So let's get it done. And, appreciate you guys. Talking about procrastination is not the easiest thing. It's almost like when you talk about it, it's like being exposed. We've kept it real with you. We've shown you what our journey has been like. And ultimately, it's all a game of becoming more productive. Like Erin said earlier, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And when you overcome this one thing that you procrastinate on, you give yourself more brain space to focus on things that actually matter, not things that's like, oh, I have to do it, right? It's like playing defense versus playing offense. In life, you want to play offense so you get ahead, right? When you're moving closer to your potential, you're playing offense because you're stretching yourself. And when you're procrastinating, it's like, think about, like when you want to look through a mirror or through a window, and procrastination is that fog that just like keeps on adding up, and you can't see clearly. So like every time you take action on something that, you know, you could be procrastinating on, or you have been procrastinating on, it's like you're literally taking your hand and you're just like squishing down the fog, and then more things are going to come your way. But if you operate in a sense of, you know, getting shit done, then you're going to be able to see things a lot more clearly. And it's all about building systems in your life to get shit done, because things are going to continue piling on, right? And I'm actually reading a book right now, and it was saying how, you know, in life, people do not break down, systems break down. True. Right? So what we're teaching you today is a system that's going to help you to build your confidence by helping you to become more productive.
Well, your current system is to avoid. And if that system isn't working, then change the system.
Yeah. And if you're avoiding one thing, then how is it showing up in other areas of your life too? You know what I mean? So just something to think about.
Okay.
Well, that being said, tomorrow we have a very special surprise for you.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So you for sure want to be here tomorrow. Also, let me give you a little sneak peek at what is tomorrow, because we don't hide things. Ooh, yes. Crushing your limitations.
Yeah. So I feel like today and tomorrow are very intertwined, but you know, it's really interesting, right? Like all days are intertwined, but all days are going to be completely different from one another. So tomorrow's going to be exciting. Definitely make sure you check it out. And let's actually, to make sure that you get email communication from us with, like, for example, like daily recap, stuff like that. Let's just drop the link again. In the case that you haven't registered, you'll want to, just so that you can be kept up in the loop. And
gotcha.
Yeah, other than that, make a post. Show us your before. Christmas tree is still on the roof and Christmas tree is down. You know, piles of paper that are in front of your computer and desk is fully clear. Show us your befores and afters. Let's make it inspiring, you guys. Okay. Well,
all right. I just dropped the link for you to officially join so that you can get all of the communication, not just watch these videos.
Can we have a Cali visit? Well, maybe she'll want to join tomorrow. Today, Boogie's very needy, obviously. He was actually for the entire episode today.
She's not interested. All right, you guys, you all are amazing. You all are capable. Let's go take away the things that have been hanging over our heads. We don't need them anymore. You're going to feel so good when you get them taken care of, and would love for you to actually share on the Facebook group too. Do y'all have the Facebook group? Are y'all in the Facebook group?
Let's drop it.
Okay, I'll drop it real quick. Facebook. Okay, so also drop in the Facebook group. Like, pick a picture of the thing that you are taking care of that is no longer going to be hanging over your head, and just show everybody and celebrate yourself for taking action and knowing that the more times that you do that, the more you're going to build your confidence. So there is the Facebook group.
So you show your progress with a before you got the task done, like what does the thing look like, or you can, if it's something that's undone, like you have to take taxes, obviously you don't have to share with us like all of your paperwork, you know, or just tell us what did you end up doing, right? Like if you have a Christmas tree that's currently hanging out and you're taking it down, then show us your space before and after.
And somebody asked if we were going to get our tags renewed. That's not a one-day thing. That's a multiple step process.
we've been working on it. There are a lot of people and things that are beyond our control that they're working on.
I wish it were a one-day thing. If it were a one-day thing, it wouldn't be the way it is.
Right.
So, anywho, you guys are awesome. Yes, we're taking steps. You go take your steps, and we'll see you guys mañana.
Yes. For anybody who said, I feel like I need to choose something grander, remember, maybe you're thinking in terms of urgent. Now take your life and think in terms of important and significant. What is something significant that you haven't done that has to do with you going into your next cut
Or maybe it is a multiple step process like we have, and you're taking the first step towards it today.
Yeah.
That way you get into action, you get into motion, you start to build the momentum.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
You guys, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, guys.